All right. No technical difficulties today. That's great. Thank you guys for joining. This is Jenna Coates. We are with NIC Payments. I'm a business development manager at NIC, and we work with government in all different types of ways. So basically what we'll do today is we will talk about where we went in 2017, where we're going in 2018, and the types of things that we're seeing in the market as far as new technologies, current technologies, how it works for you and your constituents in the field. So NIC Payments, this one's going to be more talking about ourselves, but I think it's a good place to start in the quarter one for 2018 to talk about who we are and how we can really help you moving forward. We do have a series every year. This is our second season. So we have a full season of webinars uploaded to our YouTube channel from last year. And then we will have this one today and then 3 more coming through 2018. Super excited about it. I think that we provide a expert opinion and a good eye for what's going on in the government market, especially for payments. So that's the lane that I'm in. I'm in the payments lane. We really have a goal to make sure that we provide services that are catered to make your life as a government employee easier. And we also want to make your citizens' life easier because let's face it, we're all citizens. We all have to stand in those lines. We all have to make sure that we get through those lines as quickly as possible and not only just earn a paycheck, but also, pay the government some of our monies. So we'll talk about that today. Just a recap on who we are. NIC Payments is the payment processing division of the parent company NIC. We do have a strategic focus on government payment services for NIC subsidiaries. And like I talked about, we are in government in all ways. So we're in the federal space, we're in the state space. We really focus on enterprise solutions. So not only just one-off SaaS solutions, which is software as a service, but we also provide a platform for all of you state people to work together and use the same system. It's multi-tenant. You guys don't have to see each other's stuff, but that way we can continue to serve you guys in all ways throughout government. We create solutions that improve how you guys interact with your constituents and how constituents interact with you. We have a mission to develop secure, innovative electronic services, and here in the payments sphere, we are really focused on PCI DSS compliance. We are a level 1 provider. That way that all of our services are continued to be safe. We don't want you guys sharing any information that shouldn't be shared, and we don't want to have to, keep that information either. You guys need to keep your own information, and we need to keep our own information. So as citizens, I think it is comforting to know that your government is providing you a solution that is secure and will continue to keep all of your information where it belongs. I put the Kansas map on this slide because we are based in Kansas. I'm born and raised in Kansas, so I'm pretty happy about it. So our corporate office is in Olathe, Kansas, and we have 29 different state portals. So that means we've got people on the ground in all different places. We have 947 employees currently. That's a shock to me because 6 years ago when I started, it was not that many. But now we're in 38 states. That's where our people live. That's not how many states we have. We have 29. But we provide you guys in federal, state, and local more than 6,000 services. That's crazy. That's awesome. So we have, for more than 13,000 services, we have a contract with 6,000 federal, state, and local agencies. Sorry, I misspoke. So in 2017 alone, this is just patting our own back, we securely processed more than 320 million government transactions worth $21 billion. We've done this for 26 years. We know what we're doing. We love what we do. And we want to continue doing that throughout the United States for everybody, not just the 28 states, 29 states that we currently have. And just to show you guys in a more visual sense who we serve throughout the United States, all those blue states, we have a presence in those states. That doesn't necessarily mean we provide the entire state with services, but we could provide just a county or a city or the entire state. Most of them, of course 29 of them, are enterprise contracts, which means we have a contract with the state to provide digital government solutions for not only the state agencies, but also you localities, also any agencies throughout the state that need to utilize our services. You can probably hear it in the background, but my dog is whining because I locked him up. So apologies. I have a beautiful Rottweiler, and he's pretty sad right now. Okay, so moving into what kind of payment provider we are, I broke it down into 3 different types of payments. So we have traditional payments, right? Those are the people who bring cash to the office, drive that however many miles to get to the clerk's office and pay in cash or pay with a check, or just to swipe their credit card or debit card, but still have to go into the office. I included this image because I thought it was funny how we all have to stand in line at some point, and it always is tedious and it's always just boring. So we have a goal to try and speed up that process. We want to be able to provide you guys with cashiering solutions that work not only in person, but also online, mobile, and other types of technologies. So on this slide, you can see what our over-the-counter service is. In-person solutions vary. It just depends on what type of services you're providing to your constituents. So we call it OTC, which is an over-the-counter service. It's a very sophisticated acronym. I apologize if I'm confusing you. So we have a web-based cashiering system, we call it OTC, that can be set up on any PC connected to the internet. The great thing here is that it is internet-based, so you can use it on any computer at any time from anywhere. That way, if you guys have an annex or if you guys have multiple locations, you don't have to have software completely downloaded to your hardware. It doesn't work like that. You can just pull up the website, log in, and it works. So it is out of the box, which is also known in the industry or in the biz as SaaS, which is SaaS, Software as a Service. That basically means it's a turnkey solution for you. You just open up the website, log in, and it works. We make sure that all transactions have an end-to-end encryption by using the USB pre-encrypted credit card swipe readers. That way, none of the information that is processed from the card through the software to our data centers, none of it is seen by me, none of it is seen by you, and none of it is stored. That way, all of the different types of devices that we use are all encrypted, and all of that information stays where it belongs. So you can see on the equipment, we have multiple different ways that you can process a transaction in person, right? So you've got the swipe, which is the traditional way. If you want to do credit cards, you've got, you can type in the numbers if you need to do that, or you can use the EMV cards, which are still becoming the norm, but not yet. Merchants all over are starting to use the EMV cards. I know there was a big deadline that we talked about last year that you can hear in our EMV webinar from last year's season. But it is continuing to be, to broaden its outreach into the government realm. So sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. So not only are you able to process transactions through your card, you can also use cash and you can also use check. We process those as well. We have a full cashiering system. So what it looks like when you have an in-person transaction is that it shows you a branded screen. You can make it a custom logo. It's very easy to use. It automatically works with all of our swipe devices that we provide. So it's very simple transaction flow, right? So user comes in, maybe has to stand in line. Hopefully we speed that process up. Talks to the clerk, swipes the card or inserts if you do the chip and dip, or types in the number, and then you get a receipt. It's very quick service. Moving to non-traditional payments, this is the second grouping of payments. These are your online, your mobile, your out of range, and your touch pay. These are becoming more popular, right? So we all have some sort of digital wallet or some sort of payment on our phone or on our computer that we've had to use. So we provide those as well. We want to make sure that no matter how your constituents want to pay, we can provide that service for you. So that way you don't have to use multiple vendors. You don't have to have 17 different contracts to provide your constituents with the option to pay. We can do it through one. We do offer all of them, online, mobile, out of range, and touch pay. So talking about mobile, this has been, the buzzword for the last couple of years, mobile first. NIC has a mobile first mindset, right? So we are very keen on providing you guys with more than just web-based solutions. We want to make sure that we're using everything that's out there, especially being the first or the forefront in government solutions. So we not only have our over-the-counter services, but we've also got a common checkout. We've got the internet-free payment processing platform developed in our Idaho branch called On the Go, and I'll get into that in just a second. And then we also have NIC's personal government assistant, Gov2Go, and that one is awesome. If you guys don't have Gov2Go in your state yet, hopefully we will very soon. It's taking over the government realm for personal assistance. And so we want to make sure that they all the different ways that you interact on your mobile devices, they all look right. We don't want them to have to be like minimized or zoomed in certain places because you can't touch it or you fat finger it. We want to make sure that you have the option to use an easy and efficient solution on any device. Okay, so On the Go, this is the one that I said I would dive into. This is developed in our Idaho branch. It's really cool. So OTG is PCI compliant, just like all of our services, if you need to collect funds outside of the office. So people are still wanting to do in-person payments, but maybe you are a Parks and Rec department and you need to accept campground reservations. But let's face it, in campgrounds, there's really not great Wi-Fi. That's really not why people are there. So we developed a solution where you can accept payments outside of range. What that means is you would swipe the payments, they're still encrypted, no problem, or enter the payment information. It's immediately encrypted. The payment will go through as soon as you get back into range. So it will capture as soon as you walk back into your Wi-Fi. OTG also allows for receipts to be printed using a Bluetooth printer. So that's really cool. I know a lot of police departments are starting to use things like this where they can accept funds for a infraction immediately and they can print your receipt. So it would just like connect to your hip. It's really cool, like belt clip. Everybody loves belt clips, right? So you can use your Bluetooth printer that way. So if you need to accept payments anywhere, we've got you. And then moving forward, what we've already talked about a little bit is common checkout. Our common checkout pages work for both in-person and online payments. So it's the same experience no matter how you're interacting with it. When your end user customer selects the Pay Now button, they're transferred to a checkout screen. It works for PCI compliance, just like we've talked about with everything. Everything we do is PCI compliant. It does collect credit card and banking information, so you can use a check. And the module look and feel can be skinned specifically to each application. So it can be a custom application. And just so you see the flow and how that changes based on in-person and online transactions, there's just really one more step, right? So the user goes to the website, selects to pay the bill, and then NIC's hosted checkout pops up. They fill out the information, they get a receipt. It's very quick. They don't have to go through multiple pages or select next and make sure they don't use the back button. Like, everything works on the same page. It's the same streamlined view, and it's very easy for everyone to use. Okay, so the next segment of payments is future, right? So we've gone through traditional payments. We've gone through non-traditional payments, which are still becoming they're still becoming very popular. I have words in my head, but I can't find them. And now we're talking about future payments. So what's coming up, what's happening now, but not everybody's really grasping it yet, but it's really close. It's already there. It's in the market right now. We're talking about future payments such as virtual reality payments, augmented reality, and biometrics. These things are really cool. I really love learning about all of these different types of technologies and how NIC can really utilize these types of technologies to increase your interactions with your government entities as well. So you can see the two different images I have on here. One of them is the girl using the Google virtual reality experience. So those are really fun. If you haven't used them, if you're going to a conference, I guarantee you someone will have one, and you should use it because it's awesome. And then if you also go to the right side, you can see the Pokemon Go. That's a version of augmented reality, right? So it shows you exactly what your reality looks like and then puts a layer of something on top of it. And I use Pokemon Go because that was really popular, mainly last year, but I think people are still using it. I don't know. Are you still using it? Okay, so basically just to go into a little bit more detail, because these are coming up. These aren't something that we're all using right now. Augmented reality is a technology that layers something on top of your current reality. So you can take an actual picture, and it has like in Pokemon Go, it has a cartoon on top of it. As far as virtual reality, this is a completely artificial computer-generated simulation. So if you go into a flight simulator, people at NASA have been using this forever to try and really learn how to fly rockets and things, because I'm a scientist, so I know those words. So they have been using this forever. Now we're seeing it come into the merchant space. So virtual reality payments are really starting to be something that we all would probably use, and not something that's like, oh, that's cool, that's fun, but I'm never going to use that. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to start seeing these things become more realistic for all of us normal people out there. So you can use these via mobile devices, headsets. We're starting to see all kinds of different ways that you can use these technologies coming up. And one of the other cool things, I literally just read this today, is about biometrics, right? So the new cards that have come out in the last couple of years are EMV compliant. They feature contact and contactless interfaces. It just depends on how you're trying to use the card, but the cards are becoming super techy. Now, the card terminals will have the option to use your card that has a fingerprint reader on it. So you put your fingerprint on the card, and then you put your fingerprint on the terminal, and it compares them, and then the payment is captured. So I think this is awesome. You don't have to use a pen anymore. You don't have to worry about people looking over your shoulder to find your PIN number or being able to steal your card, because our fingerprints are unique. So nobody's going to be able to mimic your fingerprint. So I think this is really cool. This is something that they're trying to use to make sure the cards are really thin still, and make sure that they're still usable and lightweight, and they don't have batteries, and there's no other technology that's coming into it, but it does read the fingerprint and then compares it in the service. The really cool thing that I was reading in this article is that there won't be much technology change on the back end. So it's just a front-end comparison, and then the back end works exactly the same. So that's great for us in the service industry and the software industry, that we won't have to change a whole bunch of stuff to use this new technology. Because it's all great to say we use the new stuff, and then we say, oh, yeah, it's going to be like 3 years until we get the option to change that. So I think it's really cool that something like that can happen. very quickly and is already in it's already debuted, and they're in the pilot phase, but it's coming. So we're seeing some really cool things happen. So other market updates. Last year I did put this WorldPay demos virtual reality payments. I still think this is relevant. I still think this is something we all need to talk about. So basically what this is WorldPay developed a prototype for virtual shopping. So you go in to the virtual experience, walk around the store, choose what you want to buy, and then as long as it's under $30, then you don't have to do anything but select your virtual card and enter your PIN with your face. So I just think that's really cool. I don't have any idea how these people think of these things, but for us to be able to do virtual payments is really cool. Another thing that came out, another article that came out yesterday, I believe, the 20th, PayScout. So they're really big into virtual reality payments. This is what they do. They demoed the payments technology for virtual reality with Visa. So now they're working with Visa Checkout to make sure, to show how easy it can be to make a virtual donation. So once you're in the simulation, you just take your simulated self and walk up to the donation booth and create a donation with your Visa checkout information. So that's really cool. I think that will really help, especially in the donations and the nonprofit sphere, but also for all of us, to be able to have a virtual reality option where people can pay for government payments. And then what we just talked about for the biometric payments, Gemalto who is actually developing these payment cards for the Bank of Cyprus. So the fingerprints are going to be taking over instead of pins on their cards. Obviously, in the article, it said that they expect other companies to be coming out with a similar technology. I would say that's probably coming. So hopefully we see these coming up quicker rather than later, and I'm not just giving you information that doesn't mean anything, but I really think it's important for all of us to stay up to date on what's coming in the near future or even in the long term to know and to be prepared for how our government interactions are changing. So I stopped about 3 minutes early. I really appreciate you guys joining, and I apologize if I talked really fast. I have a problem with talking really fast. It's probably how much caffeine I take in a day. But I did want to, give an update to you guys on what's coming up. So our next webinar is in June 20th at 10 a.m. Central Standard, same time as today. So mark that down, June 20th. I will be sending out another invite to everybody, especially those who joined today. That way we keep you informed and continue to give you, expert information on what's going on in your industry. Let us be the aggregate of information. We'll do the hard work, and we'll just feed it to you in a way that hopefully you are understanding and the way that you can share with others. So let's continue to keep our government interactions at the forefront of technology, but also in a secure and comfortable way and more efficient way for all of our citizens and our administrators. So thank you guys so much for joining. I give you 2 minutes back of your day, and I will send out the recording, and it will be on our YouTube channel. So see you guys next on Wednesday, June 20th at 10 a.m. Thank you.